Hi everyone, some gamer dude here. This might surprise some of you, but I do actually enjoy Kohdok's content. I of course do not agree with some of it, but that doesn't mean I can't enjoy it. It still gives me things to think about, different viewpoints. My main issue is something that happens to a lot of YouTubers. People elevate them and take their word as gospel. This isn't the fault of Kohdok himself, but I feel it has an influence on his audience. That's what we're going to talk about today, how I was nearly influenced by Kohdok in the design of Juken. Now the card types video and second page of the quick start guide for Juken are live, you can see that Juken uses a life deck system. I spent a lot of time refining this in late 18 through early 19, conducting research with playtesters, both familiar with this type of game and unfamiliar, trying out both life deck and life point systems. The common consensus was that life decks for this type of game, especially with damage reactionary abilities on cards, was way more dynamic and exciting. It added to the fun of the game. From there, I spent a while getting to the ideal values for attacks, how much damage they should do to have enough oomph for their cost, but not feel bad on the receiving end. This was in conjunction with finding the right deck size, it wasn't called the arsenal yet, to have a pacing that made Juken snappy, fun, and both not over too soon, nor drag. The final arsenal size of 40 is actually the result of playtesters finding the half decks of 30 being a better experience than the original 60, with 40 being the value settled upon after further testing. Discard pile, or as Juken calls it, exhaust, interaction was baked into the colour pie very early on. Blue heals it, red shuffles attacks back into the arsenal to try to use them again, yellow can target specific cards in their exhaust to filter their hand a bit. As I've said in the past, in life decking games, you need to interact with the discard pile, but it has to be done correctly. Like most things really, it's a tool that needs to be used correctly to better the experience. Then we get to Kohdok's life decking video, and after all the work I put into getting life decks running very smoothly by that point, about a year's worth of research and fine tuning, I got pretty annoyed at it. I made a video going over a lot of what he said, my own takes on it, and how I feel using a game such as Bakugan is a poor call since it's not a well-made game. That video is still one of my best performing videos, likely for the wrong reasons, but I stick by everything I said in that video bar one thing I ended up going back on. At the time of that video, breaker cards were pretty different, just providing effects when revealed as combat damage, not preventing additional combat damage. That said, I felt very pressured to provide an alternative way to play Juken for those with such an aversion to life decks that they wouldn't touch the game due to the system. People probably just taking Kohdok's opinions as fact. I didn't want to lose potential audience because of the system. In spite of the fact I spent so long refining it to an art that, from what I had experienced myself and with playtesters, had near perfected, I still felt that pressure, that Juken would be rejected because it used a life deck system. So for a couple of years, Juken's rule set included an alternative format dubbed sparring, that used a life point system similar to the original tests. Cards were worded to be playable in both, some effects such as heal changed functionality. Breakers were now essentially vanilla blocks. Well, actually worse than vanilla, since vanillas and Juken are the Kihon cards. Kihon meaning basic. No one wanted to play sparring. No one liked the idea of it. It never even got tested, it just existed. Everyone just wanted to play Juken normally with life decks, and those I talked to as to why sparring even existed said it shouldn't exist. So sometime during 2021 I believe, I removed sparring. I spent a lot of time refining the life deck system and the feelings it generated in players, getting it to a point where it's fun, dynamic, and doesn't cause feels bad scenarios due to the game itself, where everything just gels together and is smooth. Over time, I started paying attention to how easy it was to teach people, and how much fun people were having with it as every card became finalised. This coincided with us playing a lot more Juken than anything else. Today, it's quite literally all we play. This built a lot of confidence in the product, and with that confidence, I didn't feel that pressure anymore. Sparring wasn't necessary. Juken is strong enough to get over on its own, and just gets better with every set. We are up to set 5 internally, with sets 2 and 3 being finalised. So I know what has gone over well with playtesters. I can say this with confidence. But that's the story of how Kohdok very nearly influenced Juken to have a secondary format using life points. If you want to learn more about Juken, you can find a ton of information on the website for Savage Shizu Games, link is in the description. Till next time friends, this has been Some Gamer Dude, and thanks for watching.